Check one.
Okay, first of all, introduce yourselves.
My name is Damian, and pink eyes, and I sing.
10,000 marbles. This is Mr. Joe.
What made you decide to make so many 7 inches instead of full lengths?
Just because, like, at the time, a lot of, like, the bands that we were kind of into started putting out LPs, and you just couldn't listen to the whole thing. Like, it was really boring after a couple songs, because it was a lot of it was the same, same sort of stuff over and over again. That's kind of rehashed. So, and also at the time, aesthetically, 10,000 Marbles and we're really into like old 45s, like the aesthetic of an old 45, a single. Yeah, like Danger House shit was definitely huge for us, but also even like 50s soul or 50s, 60s doo-wop, and then soul records in the 60s and 70s, and like 80s new wave stuff. We like the big whole 45 type 2-song feel, so it just kind of made sense for us. So we just kept doing singles, and we were planning on doing an LP for a long time, but it never really came together until recently.
That's all right for now.
Okay. Since you released mostly 7 inches, what made you decided to do a double album, Hidden World?
We just spiraled out of control after all the singles, keeping it short. It just ended up being long because we had so much music to write. And like over the years, the songs they weren't coming out short anymore. We were adding more parts, and the length of the record just sort of went beyond what we expected. It was supposed to be just a regular LP, and then with all the music we wrote and recorded, it wasn't even going to fit on a single CD. So we just decided to, after all the small records, go big, do a double LP, and since we hadn't ever done one, everybody was like waiting for it. We gave them as much as we could,
What are some of the places you've toured, and what was your favorite tour? And do you have any like tour stories that are pretty cool or funny?
Okay, yeah. I think my favorite tour was definitely when Fucked Up went to Europe and I stayed home. That was like my favorite tour. I thought it was awesome. And then followed thereafter by anytime we go to like California or even like the East Coast. I don't know, I have a great time anytime there's like friends of ours, we get to hang out with them. The most depressing tour was definitely England. And yeah.
My answer would flow kind of from Damian's. That I'm not saying my favorite tour is the one where he wasn't around. I think my favorite was the first time we went to California, but Europe was definitely up there, tied for first. We went to tons of crazy places, never been before: Czech Republic, Sweden, Serbia, and as far as crazy shit, lots of it happened in Serbia. I had to bribe a cop in German on the highway. We got pulled over for speeding, and the cops only spoke German, and I learned it in high school, so knowledge was pretty passive, and I had to debate with this guy over whether or not we were going to pay him 8,000 dinars to get out of going to the police station and getting whatever the opposite of deported is, detained. He was like, "You're not going to leave the country, we're going to stamp your passport." So there's some hairy moments in the former Eastern Bloc for sure, but looking back, it's a good time.
I think our tour story, though, would be yesterday when Jonah and I went to that Taz store.
Yeah, Taz Records.
Yeah, and there was this dude who I guess doesn't even work there. He just hangs out there all the time.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like,
I think that guy works there.
no, someone told me he doesn't work there. He just hangs out there.
Really?
Yeah. And so Mr. Joe picks up a copy of the Pop Explosion guide, and it's like flipping through it, and he's like, there's bands that playing this year with cursing in their name. And we're like, no way. He's like, yep. There's a band playing with it, Holy F, and a band playing called F Up. And we're like, that is insane. And he's like, what are you guys doing in town? We're like, oh, we're playing that Pop Explosion. He's like, what band are you in? We're like, John Ray and the River. So, yeah, we got like, tour's always fun. Like, we get in a lot of fights, but, when we're on tour, we kind of like, we can do all right.
How did you get pulled over for speeding on the German highway? Isn't the Autobahn?
Wrong highway. We were in Serbia, and this way the speed limit's posted there is like it's posted like anywhere else. When the cops want to pull you over, they have like a movable cone with a lower speed limit on it, so it doesn't matter where you're going. It's not the real speed limit. They just put it wherever they want, and they flag you over. And the only common language we had was my like bullshit knowledge of German and his like working knowledge of German with a Serbian accent. So.
Did you guys seriously do a tour or just Europe without Damian? Like,
Yeah.
who did vocals?
This guy called Beeve. He sings in a band called Urban Blight. You might have heard of.
Yep, they're on Range, aren't they?
They are.
Okay,
So he came with us. He was a roadie in the past.
that's cool.
When you guys started the band, did you ever think that you might be as successful as you are now, or at least in like hardcore?
Yeah. It's like this band was like really started by 10,000 Marbles is like the joke. Trying to form the most. Have you heard of that band No Justice? Gulag and 10,000 Marbles wanted to form a band like No Justice, like just a really destructive band, really aggressive. Mike, 10,000 Marbles, wanted to form a band that was like full of like really explosive personalities that don't get along. So they formed this band, and like we had no idea, people would care. Like it just kind of the idea was just to play local shows. Never tour, never record. And we had no idea people would care, It's been one shock after another. When, I think the most shocking moment was when the Globe and Mail called my house last week to do an interview. That was like the weirdest moment, but because like, it's not meant to be like that.
Did you see Melon and Dip in the Ranch?
Oh, okay.
What's each of your favorite song, and what's you've recorded, and what's each of your favorite song to play live?
Oh, God. I think Vivian Girls is probably my favorite song that we recorded. And I think my favorite song to play live would be, I guess, Circling the Drain. Or Generation, when kids are into it, is fun too.
I think my favorite song that we recorded would be Jacob's Ladder, because it's something we've been playing that song for 5 years, and like literally it was like one of the first songs that we learned, and I always really loved it, and it used to be a lot different, and so we got to mold it over such a long period of time, and then got to record it. It was pretty cool. And I really like playing Hidden World live. We've only done that once or twice now, but it's shaping up to be a good one.
Yeah, I think it's the second time tonight we've ever played it live.
I don't know. I think my favorite song is Baiting. Probably both. It's got like lots of shit to do on the guitar. It's like the coolest record I think that we've done. And also Looking for Gold.
Recorded. There's a version of Neat Parts where I told the engineer to take out Damian's vocals so I could hear just the music. That's my favorite. But being realistic, I would say Dance of Death used to be my favorite. And I think that's still my favorite to play live because there's like lots to do on the drums. Yeah, after we recorded it and I heard the mixed version, the next time I saw Mike, I hugged him. But yeah, Two Snakes. It's my new fave on the record. It's brutal. One time when we went to California last time, I was listening to it on my headphones right as we were flying into the fucking scariest thunderstorm you've ever seen. So anyway.
I hope your battery's still going.
Yeah, it flashes when it picks up noise.
Two Snakes.
Did you originally plan to play really long songs like the ones that are on Hidden World, or did that just happen because you had a lot of music to play or something?
No, we kind of planned on like this record was like something that just kind of organically happened. So I don't know if it was ever like a foregone conclusion that we'd start playing long songs. I guess we did that song Looking for Gold, and it was like 13 minutes, and yeah, it was fun. It was like cool. We wanted to like we do like recording long songs, so they're fun to record. not very fun to play live. But it's the way it is. So yeah, I don't think we, it just kind of evolved that way. 10,000 Marbles listens to a lot of Pink Floyd now. That's like the least embarrassing of his influences right now too.
Yeah, Looking for Gold was supposed to run alongside an episode of Arrested Development.
Yeah, you start looking for gold at the exact moment. Job laughs, syncs up perfectly. No, I'm just kidding.
You made cover art an important part of recent Fucked Up releases. Is there any, what's the significance behind the art, if there is any?
Well, I think if you're gonna go to the trouble of using resources to make physical objects that are gonna, last for a long time, they should look really nice. And it's you look at streams of architecture and design, and if something's not gonna have a practical use, it's gotta at least it's gotta look really nice because it's gonna exist in the world for a really long time. So if you're gonna quickly make a shitty record with a shitty design, it's just you've just made an object that's not gonna look nice and it's not gonna make people think or be happy. So I just think if you're gonna take the step in making an object, you got to make sure it looks really nice, or else what's the point?
I think that's all there is, but he wants me to ask you if you guys have ever had sweet chili heat Doritos, and if you ever tried them as nachos.
No, is that a regional food? It's fucking good chips. Best chips there.
Can you only get them out here?
No.
I don't think so. I think they're all over the place.
Mike and I had them at, I don't know if you know this band, Alexis on Fire, a backstage party they had after their set one time.
I really like chips.
That was the debut of sweet chili Doritos.
Thanks a lot, guys. What are your names?